If I told you you only have 24 hours left to live, what would you do first? Would you panic or would you pause? Would you try to escape the thought or finally face it? Because something strange happens when time becomes real, not theoretical, not someday, real, limited, visible. Most people don't start living until they're told they're about to die, and that's not dramatic. It's psychological. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and there's no confusion, no false hope, no maybe, just a quiet, undeniable truth. You have 24 hours. At first, your mind resists it. It looks for loopholes. There must be a mistake. This can't be happening. Maybe there's still time, but there isn't. And slowly, that resistance fades, because deep down, you understand. A man once received this kind of news, not in a movie scene, not surrounded by chaos, just a quiet room, a doctor, and a sentence that ended everything he thought he had. He didn't react immediately. No tears, no shouting, just silence, because in that moment, his entire life rearranged itself. You think fear would take over, but it doesn't, not at first. Clarity does. Suddenly, everything unnecessary disappears. Deadlines, notifications, opinions, all the things that once felt urgent lose their meaning, and in their place, something sharper appears. Focus. You walk outside, same street, same people, but everything feels different, slower, heavier, more real. You notice things you've ignored for years. The sound of footsteps echoing softly, a child laughing in the distance, the wind brushing against your face. Nothing has changed, except you. The man didn't go home right away. He walked, no destination, just moving, as if trying to understand something he had never questioned before. Time. You've probably lived your entire life assuming you have it. Tomorrow, next week, next year. You build plans around it. You delay decisions because of it. You hide behind it. I'll do it later. But now, later doesn't exist. And without later, your excuses collapse. You start thinking about people, not everyone, just a few. The ones who mattered, but you treated casually. The ones you love, but rarely told. The ones you lost, not because of distance, but because of silence. The man took out his phone, scrolled through contacts, paused. Not because he didn't know who to call, but because he didn't know what to say first. Because now, every word matters. Every second carries weight. There's no room for pretending. No room for ego. No room for delay. You begin to understand something uncomfortable. You were never bad at expressing yourself. You were just waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect version of yourself. But that moment never came, and now, it never will. So you speak, honestly, not perfectly, but truthfully. And for the first time in a long time, you feel something shift. Relief. Because truth, even when messy, feels lighter than silence. You start reviewing your life, not like a movie, but like fragments. Small scenes, moments that once felt ordinary, now feel significant. Sitting with someone you love, laughing without thinking, being present, without distraction. And it hits you. Those were the moments, not the big achievements, not the milestones you were chasing. Just these quiet pieces of life. Then something else appears, quietly. Regret. Not loud, not overwhelming, but heavy. The chances you didn't take, the risks you avoided, the version of yourself you never allowed to exist. The man thought about his life, years of effort, stress, pressure. And for what? Security? Validation? But now, none of it mattered, because the one thing he traded everything for, time, was the one thing he no longer had. That's when the real fear begins. Not fear of dying, but fear of not having lived. You realize something painful. You weren't limited by time. You were limited by hesitation. You held back. You stayed quiet. You chose comfort over truth again and again. And now, comfort has no value. Only truth remains. There's a strange calm that starts to settle in. Unexpected, but real. Because once the illusion of endless time disappears, your mind stops running. It stops chasing the future. It stops replaying the past. And it lands here, in the present. Not because you mastered anything, but because this is all that's left. The man sat on a bench, watching people pass by. Everyone moving fast, everyone busy, everyone assuming they have more time. He didn't feel superior. He didn't feel special. He just saw clearly, something they couldn't see. This isn't about having 24 hours. It's about what those 24 hours reveal. Because nothing new is created in that moment. No new personality, no new values. Everything was already there, hidden under delay, covered by distraction. And now, with time stripped away, the truth surfaces. You don't become a different person. You become a more honest one. So the real question isn't, what would you do if you had 24 hours left? The real question is, why aren't you doing it now? Look at your life, carefully, without judgment, just awareness. Where are you waiting? Where are you holding back? Where are you choosing comfort? When you know the truth. Because if those 24 hours became real, you already know what would change. You wouldn't need advice. You wouldn't need motivation. You would just act. Call that person. Say those words. Take that step. So what's stopping you now? It's not time. It never was. It's the belief that you have more of it. Days pass quietly. Weeks disappear. Years fade without warning. Not dramatically, not loudly, just gradually. Until one day, you look back and realize how much of your life was spent waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting to feel confident. Waiting for the right time. But the truth is, the right time was never in the future. It was always hidden, in the present. The man, in his final hours, didn't try to become someone extraordinary. He simply stopped being someone false. And maybe that's the real shift. Not adding more to your life, but removing what was never real. The fear, the hesitation, the unnecessary noise. Because underneath all of it, you already know how you want to live. You've always known. You just keep postponing it. So maybe you don't need 24 hours to wake up. Maybe you just need this moment. Right here. Because the truth is, you were never waiting for time. Time was waiting for you. Was waiting for